Hello and welcome to another MonMae tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll go over how to add monster sprites to the MonMae project and only the sprites, how to add battle sprites to the battle sheet, and how to add mini sprites to the mini sheet. One thing to note is that as of the making of this tutorial, the visual editor is still in the works. A tutorial for the editor will also be made in the near future. Monster names, descriptions, types, move pools, and whether or not they evolve will be set in this editor. This tutorial will only focus on how to add the battle sprites. Let's take a look. The first thing we want to do is take a look at the monster battle sheet. So if we go to sprites, and then go to monsters, and SPR Monster Battle, we can see this sheet has every monster in the game, and they are ordered, with number 1 being the top left, and number 2 next to it, and so on. The grid here is 56 by 56, which is what we'll be working with. So in order to add a monster, we need to use the rectangular marquee tool found on the right side. As long as we select the area we want to add a monster to, we'll be able to copy and paste it from another sprite. So let's say we select this area here, and we'll leave the sprite open, go to the workspace, and add another sprite. So let's go to Create, Sprite. We'll import a sprite, one that we've already made. It'll be the first evolution of this monster. We'll say yes, and here it is. So when we edit this one, we want to use the rectangular marquee tool again, select this sprite entirely, and then we'll go at the top, click on image, and copy selection. Now that we've copied it, we can go back to our previous sprite, which is still open, and you can see here the rectangular marquee tool, as long as it's selected, allows us to paste it by just clicking. If we now go back and import the other sprite to replace the one we were working with, we can now edit that one again, select it all with the rectangular marquee tool, go to image and copy the selection once again, and return to SPR Monster Battle, and we can paste it here. Now, you have to make sure the rectangular marquee tool is in the right spot. In this case, we need to select the square to the right of the one we were working on previously. Then we can paste the selection, click it, and there it is. We now have the 2 battle sprites in this battle sheet. You can preview the battle sheet to make sure everything looks good in the preview, and if you're satisfied, you can right-click the sprite we temporarily used and delete it. Since we added battle sprites, we now need to add the mini sprites as well. These mini sprites are what is used in PCs, menus, among other things. This grid, on the other hand, is 16 by 16, unlike the other one which was 56 by 56. So let's go ahead again and create a sprite, a temporary one. In our case, we're importing a pair of 16 by 16 sprites. But yours can be individually like the previous ones as well. So here, we set the grid to 16 and you can see the line in the middle of this. So now with the rectangular marquee tool, we can select which of these 2 sprites we need. So let's go ahead and select it, and we'll select the left sprite. We'll go again to image and copy the selection. And now with the other sprite sheet open, the mini one this time, we select the part of the grid we want to paste it into, and then we go to image, paste selection, and we can paste it in that area. We want to do that for the other sprite as well, so we'll select that one, copy that selection this time, go back, and remember to always use the rectangular marquee tool to select the correct part of the grid that you're adding to. We paste the selection, and we've now added our other sprite. As stated earlier, These sprites are used in PCs and menus, among other things. And it is very important that they stay in the same order as the battle sprites, so please keep that in mind. One last thing to note is, here's a quick tip. If you go into the image editor, and you go to, well, let's zoom in first. If you go to the grid, and you click on Snap, when you now click on the rectangular marquee tool, if you select, let's say the top left, and then hold it, let's zoom in a bit. If you click it and then hold it from one corner to another, you can select the whole grid spot instead of selecting it manually. I hope this helps. And that's it for this tutorial. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again in more MonMae tutorials.